Joe, you and me into the sunset. Hey guys, hope you're well. Today's movie I'm going to be talking about is Jackals from 2012. Yes, unfortunately not the 2017 Jackals movie, which at the very least could have some fun monster B-movie antics. No. This one, well, for a lot of the movie, it's more of a soapy gangster flick. It's free on YouTube, thank God. It has the feel of a very soapy, low budget, subgrade version of EastEnders mixed with the most lamest cliche of gangster flick you'll see, but with a supernatural horror element. It's hilarious, really, because it takes them so long to actually explain what's going on and what the horror supernatural thing is, but it's kind of obvious for so much of the movie what it is, because they're just hitting you over the head with these ideas. The movie is less than an hour and a half, but it just plods on because there's scenes that literally take 2, 3, 4 minutes longer than they actually have to be. We'll just hold it on this shot for 3 minutes longer than we should because we can't move on to the next scene yet because we're just dragging this stuff out. So for people in the UK, it feels like really crappy, like reenactment video that you would see on Crime Watch. The main character is called Shark. Yes, I kid you not. It's got a gangster vibe, this film, and the lead character is called Shark. Fuck me, guys. He's a promising young guy in the underworld. Starts playing with death, where he gets involved with Saskia, who's the daughter of the drug lord. Shark is kind of saying to Saskia at one point things like, "Oh, your daddy's little girl, he wouldn't hurt you," or it's so funny that he's putting that rationale when he's like a mob boss. I mean, come on, they've got reputations for not being the most understanding, even when it comes to family. They both get kidnapped. Brother Jerry, I think, gets paired off with Shark. He picks him up at the side of the road and they have to do a job together. They go to this secluded location on the beach, seaside town, and this is where it's all hitting you in the face with stuff because it was so bloody obvious to me so early, like the way they were talking, like the way Gary was, or Jerry, I think it was Jerry, was talking about this place and almost describing it like some sort of spiritual type place where this was and where we were going. Played by the same actor, so there's a twist which is so obvious, so in your face. I think the actor who plays Shark is one of the worst actors I've ever seen. Like, his reaction to things just so stilted. Like, he reacts to everything in slow motion, and like every possible reaction is, the timing of it is so off and so backwards. There's this scene quite early on when he gets kidnapped and he gets slapped because that's the other thing, that the dialogue is so cringe and funny as well, because they literally say the most obvious, like if you were just going to write the biggest, most cliched ridden gangster thing, or like Cockney sort of cliches, this is what you would write, because he starts saying things like porkies, and at one point Jerry's describing about how they're 2 dogs in a pen. The Shark is saying, no, he's telling porkies, and he gets slapped with the most unconvincing slap ever and reacts to it so slow. And this is a movie where it's so cheap and so like stuck together with sellotape, then even when he's in the car quite early on in the movie, that, and they do this really lame fake lighting effect for the car on the highway, and even that effect, which you would think for the most low budget of movies, it's probably not that hard to do that and for it to look okay, but somehow they make it look like the cheapest thing ever. You get these horrible flashbacks of him and Saskia. We sort of already know the gist of their story when they're kind of first getting together in the past. It looks like it's been filmed in the toilet or something. And she's really bad as well. She's not quite as bad as the guy playing Shark, but that's not really saying much. Like, she's meant to be this sexy sort of femme fatale almost, and there's just nothing there. There's no charisma. She cries quite a lot after she's been kidnapped, and I'll just say, when it comes to crying, she's hardly Evangeline Lilly. Joe, he says at one point. It's all about Joe. And there's this whole plot twist which is so hilarious and contrived where he's saying, how come you never call him Dad? And that's when it's revealed that he is something other than just a human, and that's where we're going. And the title of the movie gives it away, but Jackals. And it's revealed that the dad is like some sort of devil, and that's how he's wielding all this power. Meant to be the other brother, but I think they play with the idea that because they look pretty much identical, and that's what was making it obvious what one of the twists were going to be. Jerry just appears in this silhouette, this terrible lighting, and he's just giving like these rubbish sort of monologues. And yeah, it all leads to this thing where he's the same person, basically. Because he starts giving Shark these cryptic ideas, like sort of playing on, well, you'll see two different guys. And he's describing basically him and his brother and saying one is this, one is this. So it's almost like he's the good and evil side of the brother. He does a lot of like bumbling about, laughing. They're trying to do this whole male bonding thing with him and Shark. They literally play horseshoes in a 2012 film. I'm sorry. Even in 2012, the idea of playing horseshoes, I think, must have been dated by about 10 years. Not to mention it's a fucking UK movie. What the hell? I've never heard of us playing horseshoes in this country. The monologue with Shark after like the flashback of Saskia, like and he's got a gun in his hand and he's monologuing, and really confusing by the end. As predictable as it is, like, it gets really confusing because there's meant to be a double of her at some point, and I think the other side of her is meant to be the one who's truly in control of the family, of this mob family. Really amp up the melodrama again as we go towards the end. And it got so confusing whose side anyone was on. Probably the most hilariously bad scene is the scene where they find someone in a boot and Jerry is telling Shark, okay, this is your mission now. He talking about Jerry, he wants you to take this person out. And it's so funny because this guy is dressed almost like Scarecrow because he's got like a paper thing on his head and he's got boots and he's all done up like in jeans, just looking into the boot for ages. The scene appears to go on for 4 or 5 minutes at least, which again is 3 minutes longer than it needs to be because Jerry just goes through the motions doing this whole dialogue. Dive in, get in deep or something. And he's using all this flowery stuff. The person he's got to take out is like the devil. And this is sort of how he's gonna redeem himself. So funny and cartoony because whoever this person is meant to be, before it's revealed and he's some sort of devil, is he runs off. He escapes the poo at one point, and he's dressed obviously in this funny attire, and he's being chased. Saskia character, or like her doppelganger, but when it focuses on her and she's just shouting for Shark, and because it sort of leads to him eventually killing Jerry, who I think is meant to be Joe, and that's sort of the twist really. Her name's Lara, is meant to be like another side to Saskia. This shot where she's screaming out to Shark, they just use the same shot about 3 or 4 different times. Be glad it's free on YouTube. One out of 10. That's all I can give it. Like, it's pretty much bottom of the barrel, very tedious, losing at times. That's the only thing I can really give it. The acting was absolute dog shit. It looked so bad. The script was so cliched and so like repetitive, but also very messy. Somehow it got convoluted in ways I probably didn't expect. I doubt any of you have seen it, but if you want, it's on YouTube. I'll link it in this video. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.